It's Tuesday, September 23rd.
This is not a transition, this is a rupture. This is a sharp change in a short period of time.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is at the 80th General Assembly of the United Nations as U.S. President Donald Trump prepares to address his fellow leaders.
Take a stand that we're not going to let the country spiral.
After almost a week of controversy and backlash over his suspension, Jimmy Kimmel back on the air tonight.
Our game must continue to evolve and modernize for our players, our fans, and our partners.
The Canadian Football League making some big changes that includes literally moving the goalposts. We've got all kinds of reactions. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Good morning, Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl Rummold.
And I'm Kayleen Swatsky. Good morning. Happy Tuesday.
In our cups are hot water and hot tea because we are in cold season that never seems to end.
Never, ever. But you know what? We're here and we're smiling.
Isn't that a joy? Let's get to your news headlines for this part of the hour. Some bold new changes are on the way for the Canadian Football League, set to take place over the next 2 seasons. CTV's Rahim Deladani breaks down the new rules and fan reaction.
And now looks to throw over the top. Canadian football has always defined itself by bigger fields, deeper end zones, and unique rules. But starting next season, the league is tweaking that formula and will look a lot more like the NFL.
Absolutely no percentage of these changes were made because of any type of comparison to the NFL.
While the commissioner insists he loves the Canadian game, 2 of the biggest changes that will come in 2027 align with American football. The goalposts, which currently sit at the front of the end zone, will be pushed back, and the field will be shortened down to 100 yards. The end zones are also shrinking, but will remain 5 yards deeper than the NFL.
The goal is to have the best game possible, right? And I believe we have that right now. And I believe we also are improving on that. So regardless of what it might look like, you know, to others is part and parcel, right, to, you know, how people take it.
Other changes that are meant to encourage offense will start next season. There will be a new 35-second play clock, benches on opposite sides, and a modified rouge that eliminates points for missed field goals sailing wide.
Kick is up. It's clear of the hands. Missed it, but it's out the back. We're going to OT.
Online, many CFL fans are expressing outrage, from describing the changes as garbage to saying it destroys what makes the league Canadian. And some say they're done watching.
It's kind of dumb that they're trying to be like everyone else, and instead of sticking to the CFL, they're trying to act like the NFL, see if they can get more money. But I think it's kind of bullcrap, in my opinion.
However, others see this as a step forward.
There's going to be CFL people that are diehards. No, they're trying to make it an American game. They're not. They're trying to make the game actually better.
A toss-up between modernizing for the future or fumbling away tradition. Rahim Ladani, CTV News, Toronto.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is in New York this morning at the United Nations for the 80th General Assembly. He will be attending the opening of the high-level general debate before co-hosting an event with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Yesterday, Carney pitched Canada as a reliable trading partner that, quote, has what the world wants. Addressing the Council on Foreign Relations, Carney said Canada has the resources, talent, and ingenuity the world needs in a time of political and economic turbulence. He also addressed Canada's move to officially recognize Palestinian statehood.
Recognizing the state of Palestine, led by the Palestinian Authority, empowers those who seek peaceful coexistence and the end of Hamas. It doesn't legitimize terrorism. And in no way does it compromise Canada's steadfast support for the state of Israel.
Three G7 nations, Canada, Britain, and France, are recognizing the state of Palestine to apply political pressure to end the war in Gaza. More than 145 nations now recognize Palestine in a move that will strain relations with Israel. While Prime Minister Mark Carney spoke, Israel's representative at the UN left his empty seat. This will also strain Canada's relations with the U.S., the only permanent member of the UN Security Council that has not recognized Palestine. U.S. President Donald Trump will address the General Assembly later today. Trump is expected to call out American allies, including Canada, for the coordinated international effort in recognizing a Palestinian state. Israel has said recognition rewards Hamas for the group's attack on October 7, 2023. Trump's press secretary, Carolyn Levitt, said today's speech will emphasize American strength. Regina police have charged a fourth person in relation to a shooting incident in Regina last month, which injured an 11-year-old girl. On August 11th, police were called to that home in Regina's Eastview neighborhood on the 1000 block of Edgar Street. It was just after 2 in the morning. Following a report, a girl suffered an apparent gunshot wound. She was inside the home in the area at the time of the shooting. On Friday, 18-year-old Noah Pollock Mayer was arrested and charged with conspiracy to commit murder, possession of property obtained by crime on over $5,000, and failure to comply with release conditions. Made his first court appearance Monday morning. Saskatoon City Council discussing construction of a new high-rise. Jeremy Dodge has more on that. Good morning, Jeremy.
Good morning, Daryl. Yeah, Saskatoon City Council, they're going to decide whether a developer can skip the taxes to encourage construction of this new high-rise. It's a 14-story building being built along Broadway Avenue, where the former grocery store used to be. The building will have commercial space on the ground floor with a parkade occupying the next 3 floors and 124 residential units taking up the rest of the building. To encourage construction, City administration is recommending council approve a 5-year tax abatement, which will save the company more than $1.6 million in taxes. Construction on the project is expected to wrap up next year. The city of Saskatoon's honoring residential school survivors ahead of the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation next week. The survivors flag honors residential school survivors and those impacted by the residential school system. Each element of the flag was chosen by survivors from across Canada. The flag-raising ceremony also heard from community leaders and residential school survivors.
It was only in the 1970s that we began to talk about the experiences, the traumatic experiences of being institutionalized.
The National Day for Truth and Reconciliation is next Tuesday. All right, Daryl, late-night host Jimmy Kimmel will be back on the air.
Yeah, that's right. After public outcry over his suspension, he is coming back.
That campaign that you all launched, pretending that you were going to cancel Hulu, while secretly racing through 4 seasons of Only Murders in the Building. That really worked. Congratulations.
In announcing his return, Disney said it decided to suspend Kimmel last week because of the comments he made in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murder were ill-timed and insensitive. Although Kimmel's suspension is over, the show will still be missing from many screens in the U.S. Sinclair, one of the biggest affiliate groups in the U.S., will not be airing Kimmel's show. It will air news during that time slot instead. Ongoing uncertainty over the future of the Regina Exhibition Association may be having an impact on attracting major concerts to Saskatchewan's capital. That, according to the new CEO, Wayne Mantika reports.
Be strong because it's stronger to love somebody.
The Real District says it's in a holding pattern when it comes to attracting major concerts.
Until the City of Regina resolves motion MN 25-2, which is the question around governance. Should Real be rolled back into the City of Regina or another governance structure?
Real believes the situation may be creating hesitancy with concert promoters.
Potentially, yeah. There's some uncertainty from the live entertainment industry that says, should Regina continue to be a spot when there's a question of, will the promoter be dealing with Real District or will the promoter be dealing with the City of Regina?
However, the situation isn't preventing Real from exploring opportunities.
Chapel Rowan, I think there's, we're ready, we're waiting, we've shared our enthusiasm for it, and, I think the community would say we're here for you. You've made a promise, and we'd be eager to help you fulfill that promise.
The new head of Real made the remarks following an event where Bungie assumed naming rights to the former Viterra International Trade Center. It follows merger of the two companies.
You know what? I'd love to see Garth Brooks come back. He put on such a great show last time.
Did you go to that one?
I did.
A city report on the future of Real will be completed by next summer. Real says any decisions are up to the city, but having certainty as soon as possible would be beneficial to Real's operation. Wayne Mantica, CTV News, Regina.
There is a special event in Saskatoon that might be not everyone's cup of tea, but certainly steeped in tradition. Guests gathered at the tea shop in Saskatoon's Rebranding for a high tea ceremony yesterday. The shop specializes in treats and baked goods, and it's hosting high tea every Sunday now for groups of 2 to 20. Now, high tea comes with lots of rules, like napkin placement and breaking pastries in a certain way, but the tea shop has its own modern blend.
Customers for high tea that just want to slow down and connect and relax. So it's for all the people that just want to chat with and connect with their friends, with their family members.
While it usually takes place on Sundays, the shop also holds high tea ceremonies for special groups like this birthday celebration on your screen. Let's turn our attention to the weather picture and get our first glimpse at what's happening outside. Kayleen Sawatsky, good morning.
Good morning. Well, it's a cooler start to the day this morning, but temperatures later on this afternoon definitely going to be putting a smile on your face. As I mentioned, grab a jacket if you're waking up this morning in southern Saskatchewan, only sitting at 2 degrees for Regina right now. The sun is coming out, though. The sun should be fully up in the sky by about 6:46 in Regina, 6:54 for Saskatoon. Saskatoon sitting at 3 degrees to start the day. Now, how this compares to the rest of the country, Toronto is actually our hotspot right now. So sitting at 19 degrees, all those areas lit up in yellow and orange where we're seeing the hottest temperatures. As you can see, Saskatchewan quite cool compared to the rest of the country this morning. The futurecast, though, showing that we're not seeing a whole lot today in the province. Not a lot of precipitation expected until late tonight. That's when we're going to start to see a system making its way in from Alberta. Going to be impacting us really all throughout those overnight hours and into tomorrow morning. And then that system also going to be impacting us into tomorrow afternoon up north. But down in the central and the southern zones, we're just seeing a whole lot of sunshine today. And this is really beautiful to see, especially considering that the seasonal average for this time of year is about 16 degrees. And then we have places like Moose Jaw on your screen reaching a high of 27 degrees today with that that sunshine, rather, the cloud cover up in the Battlefords, and the cloud cover not really going to be impacting too many other places today. Now, the wind gusts today are going to be higher just for a few places that are lighting up in blue on your screen. So that's up through Swift Current, through Saskatoon, and then through Prince Albert as well. Other than those areas reaching gusts up to just over 30 kilometers per hour, Regina only seeing them up to about 20 kilometers per hour, and similar wind, low wind speeds expected for Estevan today. Now, this 7-day forecast is looking absolutely beautiful. 23 degrees today will be the high for Regina, 28 degrees tomorrow, and that is going to be the peak for the week in many places across the province, dropping down on Thursday to about 20 degrees, and then Friday down to about 19 degrees, but we're not expecting too much in terms of that precipitation or in terms of that cloud cover as well. Until the weekend, we do see a few more clouds making their way into the area. 25 degrees on Saturday, though, 26 expected for Regina on Sunday, and then dropping down to 23 on Monday. So all of these temperatures in our 7-day forecast are going to be above the seasonal average. 25 degrees today for Saskatoon with that sunshine, 26 tomorrow, 20 degrees on Thursday, a few more clouds coming in for Friday. Yes, it is dropping down to 18 degrees, but again, that is higher than the seasonal average. 24 on Saturday, 23 on Sunday, and 23 on Monday.
Now Now to the claims from the U.S. president that Tylenol use by pregnant women may be linked to autism and other neurodevelopmental disorders. As Pauline Chan tells us, here in Canada, the connection is under much scrutiny.
It is one of the most common products you'll find in North American medicine cabinets, acetaminophen, Tylenol, or in other parts of the world, paracetamol. But now a new study from the U.S. links the commonly used drug with autism, ADHD, and other neurodevelopmental disorders.
The FDA will issue a physician's notice about the risk of acetaminophen during pregnancy and begin the process to initiate a safety label change. HHS will launch a nationwide public service campaign to inform families and protect public health.
I'm certainly not convinced with this, purported link to autism. I think the better quality studies have shown that there frankly is no link there. Let's not forget that pregnant women do get sick. They do develop fevers. They do develop pain. Tylenol is probably safer than many of the other over-the-counter medications like Advil and ibuprofen. Those anti-inflammatories do have a number of side effects.
And the makers of Tylenol have also issued a statement. We believe independent, sound science clearly shows that taking acetaminophen does not cause autism. Acetaminophen is the safest pain reliever option for pregnant women as needed throughout their entire pregnancy. Without it, women face dangerous choices, suffer through conditions like fevers that are potentially harmful to both mom and baby, or use riskier alternatives. Developmental pediatrician Dr. Melanie Penner is with Holland Bloorview Kids Rehab.
There is not a single cause for autism or for other neurodevelopmental conditions that we deal with in our clinics. And autism really seems to be a complex combination that is unique to each child of their genetics, but also some factors in their environment that together make up this clinical group of symptoms or features that we call autism.
She cautions against looking for a single silver bullet cause for autism and encourages awareness and acceptance for a complex condition that affects an estimated 2% of Canadian children. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
Well, in case you missed it, this isn't your typical tree farm. So this farm in northern Belgium is home to about 500 different species, but its charm doesn't stop there. The trees are also pruned and sculpted into living works of art.
Whoa.
Yeah, because of their rarity and the skill needed to make them, some of the trees are actually valued at more than $16,000.
Wow, look at this video.
So you can just buy one of these trees for your backyard, I guess.
The degree of difficulty alone, Jeremy.
Yeah, this is super cool. I hope they have real good fire protections.
Yeah.
Safety first, kids. Safety first.
Yes.
Kind of looks like a Dr. Seuss image, right?
Oh my goodness. All right, we're going to take a time out. We got your question of the day on the other side of this short commercial break. There's a live look over the city of Regina. We're talking Canadian football. Get your opinions ready. We're back after this.
So here we are, combining near Young, Saskatchewan. Good morning, Canada.
Brings us around to our question of the day. Thanks for sending in that great video. We're talking about the Canadian Football League.
Yeah, so we're asking you, how do you feel about the changes coming to the CFL? We've talked about it in news this morning. Now we're ready to hear from you. Jeremy, what do you think?
I think you're probably the most passionate amongst us.
I think they are great. I think this is a good thing, except for the shortening of the field. That's one of the defining features I want the CFL to keep, right? We've got 3 downs, we've got the bigger balls, the ratio, and the 100 10 yards, and now it's shrinking a little bit.
Tim Hicks is going to have to rewrite his song. Stronger beer, right? We got a longer field and one less down.
Well, what do you think?
Change is always good. We just changed this whole show.
Exactly,
I can't say it's change there is bad. We did a whole bunch of change here.
Yeah, we love to.
But we know you have strong opinions out there, so we need to hear those. Keep them clean. Text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply, or scan the QR code on your screen. Kayleen, what's happening outside?
All right, well, let's take a look at that school day forecast. It's brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. A bit cooler to start the day. By about 7 o'clock this morning, we're expecting it to be 5 degrees for both Regina and Saskatoon. At least that sun is going to be shining all day long. By lunchtime, similar temperatures as well. 21 degrees with that sunshine expected. We're just talking about the winds being slightly more increased for Saskatoon compared to Regina. And by final bell in Regina sitting at 23 degrees. That is the expected daytime high. 25 degrees for Saskatoon, so a couple degrees warmer, and that is also the expected daytime high. Now let's take a look at those gas prices as we go to break. Regina, the common cost to fill up, $135.9, but you can find regular fuel for as low as $114.9. And in Saskatoon, common cost to fill up, $135.9. You might find the lowest for $124.9. Taking a look at those farm markets, the street price of canola at $548.82 per ton, and the futures price at $611.80 per ton this morning. Amber durum wheat at $278.60 per ton, and red spring wheat at $229.27 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 72.38 cents US. In about 10 minutes time, we'll be sitting down with the education minister to see if we're any closer to a child care agreement. Stay with us.
Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. It is 6:30. The Saskatchewan NDP are suggesting the province make big changes in healthcare systems through a province-wide consultation process. The opposition have launched a new website where parents, patients, families, frontline workers, and concerned citizens alike can share their experiences. The NDP say the plan is to gather information for at least 6 months to create a report which would then be used to formulate solutions. As the opposition, they would need the Sask Party's support.
We know that the stakes are very high. We know that we can't afford to continue going in the wrong direction. And so I would say that everything is on the table. And we know that the people that are out there experiencing the healthcare, accessing the healthcare system, working in the healthcare system have ideas. And that's where we want the seed of this big, bold change to come from.
The government of Saskatchewan says they are doing a number of things to address concerns, including adding positions in emergency rooms and moving administrative expenses to those frontline working positions. We had a conversation with the health minister yesterday. You can find that on our website. Airports in Copenhagen and Oslo have reopened after closures caused by drone sightings. Denmark's prime minister this morning called the incursion a serious attack on critical infrastructure, adding she cannot rule out that they came from Russia. Main airports in Copenhagen and Oslo were both closed for 4 hours or so following those drone sightings. Radar shows planes being diverted as flights were ordered not to take off or land.
We stand ready and willing to continue to defend every inch of Allied territory.
The NATO secretary spoke just moments ago after a meeting on Russia's violation of Estonian airspace last week. Asked if NATO is ready to shoot down Russian planes over its territory, Rutt says these decisions are made in real time. Kamala Harris has given her first interview since leaving office and losing the 2024 election.
When I write this, it's because I realize that I have and had a certain responsibility that I should have followed through on.
In an interview with MSNBC, the former vice president talked about her new book, touching on her campaign against U.S. President Donald Trump, her relationship with Joe Biden, and her political future. When asked about the possibility of a 2028 presidential run, Harris declined to completely rule it out, but said she, quote, is not in the focus right now. Her new book, 107 Days, is out today. Federal and provincial privacy authorities will release their results of their joint investigation into TikTok at a news conference later today in Ottawa. That investigation looked into whether the social media company is complying with Canadian privacy legislation, particularly when it comes to young people. It also focused on whether valid and meaningful consent is being obtained for the collection, use, and disclosure of users' personal information. TikTok has raised privacy and safety concerns due to Chinese national security laws that compel domestic organizations to help with intelligence gathering, and it was unclear whether TikTok is meeting transparency obligations. There's been mixed reaction to a major UFC event that's set to take place on the White House lawn. These are renderings you're about to see on your screen of the event posted by the White House and UFC CEO Dana White. It's being planned for July 4th, dubbed as an Independence Day event. Details are slim, especially when it comes to how the UFC plans to overcome all the logistical challenges. Not all fans jazzed about the idea, with at least one person writing in that it's a disaster written all over it, and another commenting that it was embarrassing. The community of North Dundas, south of Ottawa, has declared a local state of emergency as crews fight out-of-control wildfires. The fire in the forest started on Sunday night. It, as of yesterday, has grown to 40 hectares in size. Officials say crews have been able to keep the fire in the forest, and right now there is no plan to call an evacuation. No one has been hurt, no injury, no damage reports. North Dundas declared a state of emergency to better manage resources and respond to that fire. Southern China and Hong Kong bracing for Super Typhoon Regina. Now, one measure being taken in Guangdong province, they're preemptively felling trees in preparation. More than 370,000 people in that province have been evacuated. In Hong Kong, grocery store shelves are empty and windows are being taped up in the hopes of limiting damage from the strongest storm anywhere this year. Hundreds of flights have been grounded. Schools are closed. Meanwhile, the Philippines just trying to recover from the storm. They've already are preparing for another forming in the east of the country. Heavy rainfall in France left an ambulance stuck in the city of Toulon. Thousands of homes were left without power in the region, and in northern Italy, firefighters conducted search and rescues as torrential rain triggered widespread flooding and landslides in the northern city of Como. And take a look at this. Lightning striking a communication tower and disrupting things in Barcelona while firefighters about an hour away searched for a car swept away in the heavy flooding, with local officials later saying 2 people have died. CTV's Prince Albert old home, the broadcast building off Central Avenue, up for auction. The listing includes both the building itself and the neighboring parking lot. The old station sits on auction as is, including all contents except for antenna towers and communication relays. Listed as a former television studio and mixed-use complex, the building was the site of decades of broadcasting history for PA. Those who worked in the building say the former Prime Minister John Diefenbaker was known to stop in.
He'd come to the radio station and would be just like a newsman peeling off the reams of paper that had come in overnight, and got his news that way in that building.
A number of companies operated out of the building over the years, including CKBI and CTV. Keeleen, I want to show you a picture. It's a sunset at E.B. Campbell Dam. This one taken and sent in to us by Kathy.
Wow, beautiful. We know the sunsets are getting earlier on in the evening, unfortunately. I know a lot of people don't like that. But the sunrise is also getting a little bit later, so you could go outside right now and go and catch that sunrise. You can send us some photos. Yeah, absolutely. So in Regina, sun will be fully up by about 6:46. In Saskatoon, you can see it's a little bit dark there this morning. Sun should be fully up by about 6:54 this morning. Let's take a look at some of those current temperatures, though, because it is a little bit chillier to start the day. This afternoon, though, going to be very warm. I'll show you those temperatures in just a minute. But 2 degrees right now for Regina. Winds fairly calm, currently coming in at about 7 kilometers per hour. Could be gusting up to about 20 kilometers per hour later on this afternoon. So low winds for Regina, a bit higher expected for Saskatoon, gusting up to about 30 kilometers per hour, sitting at 3 degrees to start our day. Now, here's how we compare it to the rest of the country. As you can see, those green spots are a little bit cooler this morning. Winnipeg, though, nice and warm. That yellow color lit up there, 14 degrees currently sitting there. The hot spot for the country is Toronto this morning, sitting at 19 degrees. Now, we're not taking a look at a whole lot on the Futurecast. The radar pretty unremarkable this morning in the Futurecast, not showing much until the overnight hours when we see that weather system make its way in from Alberta, bringing some precipitation to areas far in the north today and into tomorrow. Now, today's forecast throughout the central zones and down towards the south, though, looking very warm, especially when you take into consideration that the average for this time of year in Saskatchewan is 16 degrees. And then we have areas such as the Battlefords and Moose Jaw reaching 27 as the high today. Swift Current up to about 26. Weyburn 26 degrees expected. Regina up to 23 and Estevan up to 24. We talked a little bit about those winds and how they could be increased for Saskatoon today, but it's not entirely true for the entire central zone. As you can see, it's really just those areas that are lighting up in blue throughout our afternoon. So that does include Swift Current, Saskatoon, and Prince Albert going to be seeing the strongest wind gusts this afternoon. Now, we mentioned that high today for Regina, going to be 23 degrees. Tomorrow, though, is going to be the peak for the province. That's up to 28 degrees for Regina. 20 degrees, though, on Thursday. So we are cooling down quite a bit on Thursday, but still, again, above that seasonal average. 19 degrees on Friday, and we're expecting the sun to be shining for all of these days until Saturday, where we're still seeing the sunshine. We just have a little bit more of that cloud cover. 25 degrees on Saturday, 26 on Sunday. And in Saskatoon, the high today expected to be 25 degrees, 26 tomorrow, 20 degrees on Thursday, 18 degrees on Friday. And although we do see that cool off happening on that day, again, still above that seasonal average, and a beautiful weekend ahead with temperatures into those 20 degrees still. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is sunrise. Head to the contest page on our website or scan that QR code on your screen. Enter that code word along with your information for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
Kara Wagland in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday. And for it, we take you to Atlanta. We got the Nationals visiting the Braves, bottom 5. Hassan Kim hits one in center. Jacob Young sliding.
Did they say he did?
Makes the catch, but the ball pops out of his glove. He reaches back with his bare hand to secure it.
Right there. He may have hurt himself.
Great concentration by Young, who makes a circus catch for the second time in 2 games.
Looks like he is in some significant.
Looks like he hurt his hand on that one as well. It is your must-see moment from Monday. And kind of Tuesday on TSN, we got dub playoffs. We got the Mercury battling the Lynx in Game 2. Minnesota with a 1-0 lead in the series. Pre-game coverage for that one gets underway at 7 Eastern to 4 Pacific. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
School is firmly back in session. We're getting a closer look at how things are going with the Education Minister, Everett Hindley. Everett, thank you so much for doing this. We got limited time. I want to start with childcare spaces before we get into back to school. Are we any closer to signing an agreement with the federal government?
Well, we remain ready and willing to negotiate the extension of that agreement. You know, it was about 3 weeks ago in Regina. I was there doing an announcement at SAS Poly to announce an additional 540 spaces across Saskatchewan. And the Secretary of State for Saskatchewan, Mr. Buckley Belanger, was there on behalf of the federal government. And I had a conversation with him, and we had discussions about advancing this. You know, I was encouraged by Mr. Belanger's comments that he fully expects that the federal government and the province will be able to negotiate a deal here before the end of the year, I think is what he said. So I continue to reach out through my office to the federal minister, and we're hopeful we can get that agreement signed.
We'll wait on that. In the meantime, back to school, as we mentioned off the top, is firmly underway. How did back to school go from a ministry standpoint?
Yeah, it's always a very exciting time of the year, I think, for us, of course, in the Ministry of Education, but I think for families, for students, for parents and teachers right across Saskatchewan. We want to ensure that we're giving Saskatchewan students their best start. It's why we're making record investments into the education system, trying to address that, the growing enrollments that we're seeing in our province. And we'll see the numbers come in at the end of September to see where things stand this year. But enrollment's been growing year after year after year here in Saskatchewan. And we're trying to support that with more teachers, more EAs, more support staff in the classroom, but more classrooms as well, focusing on funding for improved K-3 literacy, more specialized support classrooms, provide that additional help for kids that need it. But I think it's an exciting time for people right across Saskatchewan.
More classrooms. You've got more communities coming. You're going to need more schools. Coopertown is just announced for Regina. 36,000 people they're saying are going to be home to there. East Regina, where I am, they say they need a high school. Similar stories across the province in PA, Saskatoon, Weyburn, you name it. They all need new schools. Are we any closer?
For sure, yeah, and we've built over I think 70 some schools in this province since we've had the honor of forming government. We currently have about 21 different new school projects, either in construction or various stages of development right now, planning and design. And there's always a list of not just what do we have, for example, for older schools, whether they're in Regina or Saskatoon or in our rural areas of this province, and trying to make sure that we're supporting those because they eventually will reach end of life. But how do we address those pressures, but also with, as you mentioned, Daryl, the pressures of growing communities. So we're working very hard with the ministry team, with school divisions, school boards to try to identify those areas as best we can and to provide dollars when we're able to make sure that we're continuing to build new schools and also add relocatables to those schools that are facing some pressures today.
Just how hard is it? Like you think from a person that doesn't know anything about the process, we just sit there and say we need a school in East Regina, we need a school in northern Saskatoon. Just how hard is it to get to that point?
It is. It takes some time. It takes a lot of work with the school divisions, but also with the municipalities as well, trying to identify and predict as best you can what the not just what the current pressures are, but as you see them, what might be coming down the road for those communities and for us as a province in the years to come. So the ministry has a ranking system to try to identify those priorities. Again, we have limited dollars. We want to make sure that we're making those investments as quickly as we can, but it does take some time to identify the land for the schools, try to identify what the size needs to be. More often than not, there'll be a joint use school between the public division and the Catholic division trying to share resources. So it is a bit of a struggle, but I think we're making headway. We're positive about how that's looking.
Thank you so much for your time. Everett Hindley is the Minister of Education in Saskatchewan.
Thanks, Daryl.
A University of Waterloo student is using AI to help families save money at the grocery store. CTV's Heather Sonoran are showing us how.
Canada's food price report predicted that the average family of four would spend about $16,000 a year on groceries in 2025. But this University of Waterloo student is hoping to put a dent in the affordability crisis.
People can't really control their car insurance or their rent or their utilities, but grocery bills felt like something we could actually tackle.
Henrietta Van Niekerk took money earned from a pitch contest and various other programs to create Scrimp, your very own AI sous chef and shopping assistant.
From flyer to meal plan to actionable list of items that you can buy, Scrimp uses AI to sort of connect all of these things for you so that grocery shopping and affordability becomes like a really easy 3-click process to solve. $2.92 to make this meal.
She says the savings could be big.
Our users are saving anywhere from about $50 to $100 per week for families.
And it's specifically catered to the user. All it needs is the family size, store preferences, and dietary requirements.
We try and buy gluten-free and mostly dairy-free if possible.
This mom of two says it's been a game changer at the checkout.
It's pretty easy to use, user-friendly, very straightforward.
Her favorite part is the unique recipe ideas. Tonight's dinner will be chicken shawarma.
The recipes were, not causing me to go and find 11 different ingredients and things that I probably would never use again.
I may see olive oil and say, no, I have that at home.
Van Niekerk says Scrimp is proof AI can be used for good.
Ethical AI instead is showing that there can be this coming together of human ingenuity and what the AI can provide, which is also why Scrimp doesn't make their own recipes. We actually use recipes that exist on the internet.
Right now, it's only available for users in Kitchener, Waterloo, and Cambridge, but the goal is to expand throughout Canada so more people can cash in on the savings. Heather Centerin, CTV News, Waterloo.
It's September 23rd, and we have these milestones to share with you. We're starting off with a big happy birthday going out to Dalton today for his 18th birthday. We hope you have a great day with lots of love from Jace, June, Grace, Mom, and Dad. Turning 20 years old is Dylan. His mom, dad, and sisters wrote in with the message, "Good luck in Onion Lake this year. Make us proud." Happy birthday, Dylan. Happy birthday wishes also going out to Lily. She's marking her 17th birthday today, and her dad, Lisa, Noah, and the girls are all sending her so much love. Have a great day. We're also wishing a big happy birthday to Luke, celebrating being 1 year older today. We hope you have a fantastic day and a great year ahead. And finally, happy birthday to Avery, turning 11 years old today with lots of love from her mom, dad, sister, Peyton, and dog, Lexi. Have a great day. If you have anything that you would like to celebrate, send us your milestones to Your Morning Saskatchewan at ctv.ca. Make sure you attach a photo, tell us what you're celebrating and when, and make sure you send those in 1 day in advance.
Must be your last day of work, Chase. You're getting married this weekend.
Last day, so that means I'm mailing it in, more than usual even, some would say. I am trying to give away some cash before I leave here. $500 to play for at 7 o'clock with the Big Money Montage. Also, because wedding is coming up this weekend, we got our meeting with the DJ tonight, and he wants us to have a do not playlist and a must playlist. So I'm looking for your help. You can text 54321. What do you never want to hear played at a wedding, and what's that one that's going to get you out on the dance floor each and every time? But let me know. Text in. The chicken dance seems to be a very polarizing one on our text line here. Most people, you love it or you hate it. I'm in the hate category for that one.
You keep a secret. I'm an angel.
See the wings? Keanu Reeves guides lost souls. This is a look at the upcoming comedy Good Fortune, which sees Reeves meddling with the lives of two Earthlings, played by Seth Rogen and Aziz Ansari. Good Fortune comes to theaters on October 17th.
Why do you want to be a Marine, Cameron?
For freedom. Boot Camp gets new recruits. Boots is a new series capturing the intense world of the U.S. Marine Corps. See how the rookies fare when the coming-of-age comedy lands on Netflix on October 9th. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
Time for your sidebar story. Stranger danger, a real thing, even in the animal kingdom.
Not like the cows.
Bambi the golden retriever, not a big fan of the cows in the field. Just clinging to mom.
Those are big, scary animals.
That's right.
At least that pup knows who will keep her safe.
That's true. Absolutely.
All right, well, now to a little one who has a lot to say.
Tell me.
So this baby is definitely a chatty Cathy. She may not know how to speak yet, but she sure understands and squeals when her dad and siblings respond to those babblings.
Oh, look at that. I remember those days. Now everything's dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
Dead. Dead. Cookie, dead. That brings us to the end of the hour. We're going to reset. We got the radio analyst of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Luke Mullender, coming up at 7:30 to talk about all those rule changes. In the meantime, head to our social media pages. Let us know what you think of the rule changes coming to the CFL in 2026 and 2027. We'll take a quick time out as we look over the bridge in Saskatoon. We're back in just 2 minutes. Tuesday, September 23rd.
It doesn't legitimize terrorism. And in no way does it compromise Canada's steadfast support for the State of Israel.
After defending Canada's decision to recognize Palestinian statehood, the Prime Minister will attend the UN's highest-level general debate this morning.
I want to
to say it like it is. Don't take Tylenol. Don't take it.
U.S. President Donald Trump gives unqualified and unproven medical advice linking Tylenol to use by pregnant women to autism.
It's kind of dumb that they're trying to be like everyone else, and instead of sticking to the CFL,
they're trying to make it an American game. They're not. They're trying to make the game actually better.
3 downs and a wider field are sticking around, but there are big changes coming to the CFL. Fans feeling pretty torn. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl Rummelt.
And I'm Kayleen Swatsky. We hope your day is off to a great start.
Lots of reaction coming into the changes coming to the Canadian Football League.
Yeah, and I really like that it's pretty split. There's a lot of people, everyone's being respectful, thank you, but some people saying they love it, some people saying...
You think it's split by age?
You know what? Well, people aren't saying their age when they text us, but hey, I think you might be onto something there.
Maybe. Let's dig more into it in news. Major changes are coming to the CFL in 2026 and 2027. The commissioner will join us on the show at 8:40 this morning. First, Jacob Carr with fan reaction.
Today, we announce a significant step towards achieving our vision for the future of the CFL.
The CFL game will look a lot different come 2027. By that time, the league will have modified its field length to 100 yards, its end zone length to 15 yards, and moved the goalpost to the back of the end zone. Despite the similarities these changes have to the NFL game, CFL Commissioner Stuart Johnston said this is about opening up the game.
I look at the turf as a canvas. It's a canvas for our great game. 12 players, waggle, 3 downs. And we have cleaned up our canvas, and we've made it so much more open.
Other changes include a new 35-second play clock and the Rouge only being awarded when a player takes a knee in the end zone or can't advance the ball out. Representatives of the Saskatchewan Roughriders believe that these changes will open up more scoring, which is something the fans of the league will appreciate.
Anytime you have an opportunity to score more touchdowns, and with all respect to our kickers, less field goals, I think is a good thing for fans, because that's what, fans... The touchdown is the most, exciting play we have. There's a reason that Gaynor drives around the field after touchdowns and not field goals.
While there is positivity from members of the CFL, in the CJFL, it is a different story. The Regina Thunder say that the field changes will hurt their bottom line. The team plays one annual game against the rival Hilltops at Mosaic Stadium, a game they will likely have to move to Leibel Field.
I'm kind of pissed off about it because, I'm just sitting there going, we're losing that revenue that we normally would get from the Hilltop games, which is important for our football club. So if we didn't go to Mosaic Stadium for our game against the Hilltops, we would lose $40,000 in revenue.
All other teams in the CJFL do not play in professional stadiums, so the Thunder believe that Leibel will be their permanent home moving forward. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
You want to weigh in on the conversation? Text your name and your answer. How you feel about the changes to 10400. Standard message rates may apply. Today, the Prime Minister will take part in the first day of high-level general debate at the UN's 80th General Assembly.
Recognizing the state of Palestine, led by the Palestinian Authority, empowers those who seek peaceful coexistence and the end of Hamas.
Yesterday, Carney defended Canada's decision to recognize the state of Palestine along with 2 other G7 nations, Britain and France. They're hoping to apply political pressure to end the war in Gaza. More than 145 nations now recognize Palestine in a move that will strain relations with Israel. While the Prime Minister spoke yesterday, Israel's representative at the UN left his seat empty. This will also strain Canada's relations with the U.S., the only permanent member of the UN Security Council that has not recognized Palestine. The U.S. President will address the Assembly today. He is expected to call out American allies, including Canada, for their coordinated effort in recognizing Palestine. Israel has said recognition rewards Hamas for their October 7th, 2023 attack. The press secretary for Trump, Carolyn Levitt, said Trump's speech will emphasize, quote, American strength. Regina police have charged a 4th person in relation to a shooting that happened in Regina, leaving an 11-year-old girl injured. On August 11th, police were called to a Regina Eastview home on the 1800 block of Edgar Street after 2 in the morning, following a report that a girl was suffering from an apparent gunshot wound. She was inside the home in the area at the time of the shooting. On Friday, 18-year-old Noah Pollock Mayer was charged with conspiracy to commit murder, possession of property obtained by crime over $5,000, and failure to comply comply with release conditions. Made his first court appearance Monday. Saskatoon City Council discussing construction of a new high-rise. Jeremy Dodge, good morning. More on that for us.
Yeah, Daryl, good morning. Saskatoon City Council will decide whether a developer can skip the taxes to encourage construction of this new high-rise. Keaton Sorokon has the details.
Construction has begun on what will eventually be a 14-story building where the former Extra Foods used to be on Broadway Avenue. The building will have 2 separate commercial spaces on the ground floor, with a parkade occupying the next 3 floors and 124 residential units taking up the rest of the building. And people on Broadway want to know if that means a grocery store is coming back to the neighborhood.
I actually live not too far, and I miss it a lot. There's like no grocery stores by Broadway anymore.
This is what they would call a food desert now.
Others feel while a grocery store is needed, it might not be in the near future.
It would be nice, but I don't think that sort of building would be warranted here. The building itself sounds too expensive, and the groceries would be expensive.
To encourage infill construction, city administration is recommending council approve a 5-year tax abatement, which will save the company more than $1.6 million in taxes, split between municipal and provincial taxes. Residents will have to wait when construction wraps up in 2027 to find out what ends up on the ground floor.
We do need a grocery store someplace.
Right.
I was hoping Pitchfork would come in here when they started getting places, but that didn't work.
City Council will make a decision on the tax break on Wednesday. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The city of Saskatoon's honoring residential school survivors ahead of the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation next week. The survivors flag honors residential school survivors and those impacted by the residential school system. Each element of the flag was chosen by survivors from across Canada. Community leaders and residential school survivors were on hand to speak on their experience. The National Day for Truth and Reconciliation is next Tuesday. Daryl, some rebranding underway in Regina's Real District.
Yeah, absolutely. The International Trade Center in Regina, Real District, has rebranded it as the Bungie from Viterra. It was the Viterra International Trade Center, now it's Bungie. 150,000 square foot facility is the largest of its kind in Canada. Bungie says it's looking forward to continuing their partnership with Real.
We think it's the hub of trade and activity here in Regina, so we're proud to continue to support. We'd like to continue to see the type of events that are coming in here because we think they're great for the city and are great for the community.
Bungie will also assume from Viterra title sponsorship of Canada's Farm Show, which will be held in March. The spouse of the man behind bars in the mass shooting in Portapique, Nova Scotia, is set to publish a memoir. The book will recount the abuse Lisa Banfield endured while in a relationship with Gabriel Wortman. The first survivor, Life with Canada's Deadliest Mass Shooter, is due to be published in January. Wortman's rampage on April 18, 2020 started when he assaulted Banfield, his common-law wife, for 19 years. Over the next 13 hours, he killed 22 people in Portapique and surrounding communities in Nova Scotia. Gun control group, one gun control group says the federal government's firearm buyback program will be a waste of money unless it includes a ban of the semi-automatic rifle, the SKS rifle. The group wants the government to impose an immediate ban on the new sales of the SKS, removing the modern assault-style versions of the rifle from circulation and implementing a voluntary buyback of older models. Ottawa outlawed around 2,500 types of guns in May of 2020 following that mass shooting, but didn't ban the SKS, which is often used in Indigenous communities for hunting. The group says that if the SKS isn't prohibited, Canada lacks the real ban on assault-style weapons. Public Safety Minister the Public Safety Minister says it's set to announce new details of the program later today. Jimmy Kimmel Live back on the air tonight after that suspension.
That campaign that you all launched, pretending that you were going to cancel Hulu, while secretly racing through 4 seasons of Only Murders in the Building. That really worked. Congratulations.
In announcing his return, Disney said it decided to suspend Kimmel last week because of some of the comments he made in the wake of Charlie Kirk's murder. They called them ill-timed and insensitive. Although Kimmel's suspension is over, his show will still be missing from many screens in the U.S. Sinclair, one of the biggest affiliate groups in the U.S., will not be airing Kimmel's show. It will air news in that time slot instead. The fan who caught Mike Trout's 400th home run ball will give it back and make a couple of perks along the way. Alberto and his family got a chance to meet Trout and traded the ball for some signed bats. Alberto was also hoping for a chance to play a game of catch. The Angels superstar was more than happy to oblige. Mike Trout became the 59th player in MLB history to reach 400 home runs when he did so on Saturday. I want to turn your attention, Kayleen, to Hallie. Went out to let the dogs out around midnight in Saskatoon, saw this incredible display. Check out the dancing of the Northern Lights overhead.
Wow, what lucky timing to have to let the dogs out to go outside and catch this.
A little dark on your screen, but you get the idea there. What's going on in the weather today?
Beautiful. Well, we have a beautiful day on tap as well. Temperature is a little bit cool to start the day, but no worries. Don't panic. Later on in the afternoon, it's going to be beautiful. Temperature's still going to be above that seasonal average, although it is 2 degrees right now to start our day in Regina and 3 degrees to start our day in Saskatoon. So yeah, a light jacket, probably a really good idea if you're heading out the door right now. Now the radar and satellite looking pretty unremarkable this morning, but the futurecast also looking like we're not really seeing anything significant to come, other than as we look towards the overnight hours, we start to see this system moving in from Alberta. It's going to be bringing some precipitation with it, but only for those areas far up north in Saskatchewan. It's not going to be tracking down south really for today or tomorrow. Today's wind gusts, though, we are seeing them increased in areas lit up in blue on your screen. So that does include Swift Current, Saskatoon, and up through Prince Albert. But even though we are seeing the strongest winds there, it still is only in that blue shading there. So up to about 30 kilometers per hour. And then other areas not lit up in blue, only going to be seeing them up to about 20 kilometers per hour this afternoon, so not too bad in terms of those wind gusts. Now, the temperatures out there across the province looking cooler to start the day. Prince Albert sitting at that 0 degree mark right now. Hudson Bay only at 5 degrees. Melfort up to 5 degrees as well. Down in the south, we're seeing Swift Current up to 9 degrees right now. Estevan up to 7 degrees and Yorkton up to 7 degrees. Now, later on this afternoon, temperatures are going to be beautiful across the province, with many places reaching into those 20-degree temperatures, either in the low end of that or into the mid 20 degrees. Tomorrow, though, we're going to be seeing a lot of places into those high 20 degrees. Tomorrow is going to be the day where we see temperatures peak for this week, up to 28 in Regina, dropping down to about 20 degrees on Thursday, though, and then 19 degrees on Friday. And although that may seem like things are cooling down, that is still significantly above the seasonal average for this time of year. 25 degrees on Saturday, and then getting back up to 26 on Sunday, 23 on Monday. And in Saskatoon, another beautiful 7-day forecast with a whole lot of sunshine on the way. 25 degrees today, 26 tomorrow, dropping down to 20 degrees on Thursday, 18 degrees on Friday, with a bit more of that cloud cover making its way into the conversation on that day. 24 degrees on Saturday, 23 on Sunday, and 23 degrees on Monday.
Ahead on Your Morning, the CFL is making major changes. We're talking to a former player and the commissioner. Your Morning Mystery today is a thing. That's 5 minutes away. At about 7:40 on CTV Regina and Yorkton, you'll meet this week's adorable adoptable from the Humane Society. And on CTV Saskatoon and Prince Albert, you'll learn more about the Saskatoon International Burlesque Festival. It's all still to come here on Your Morning Saskatchewan as we look out over the legislature in Wascana Lake. We're back on a beautiful Tuesday in about 2 minutes.
Look at this gorgeous rural forecast today. Those temperatures are high today. Outlook up to 28 degrees, Wynyard up to 24 degrees with that sun shining all afternoon long. East End Cypress up to 24 degrees. Pilot Butte 23 degrees, and Carlisle up to 24. And we're really not expecting to see a whole lot of that cloud cover down towards the south today. Now let's take a look at Radville, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. A very pleasant daytime high today of 24 degrees, some low wind speeds, sunny skies all afternoon long, and clear into the evening as well.
The Canadian Food Inspection Agency is one step closer to killing hundreds of ostriches on a farm that has attracted international attention. The RCMP are assisting the CFIA to execute search warrants. The farm's been fighting in court for months to keep their 400 birds alive. CTV's Michelle Brunoro has the latest.
Teams of RCMP, including a critical response unit, are at the farm in Edgewood now as part of a convoy of police and CFIA staff who arrived Monday morning.
We're here, our primary role is to keep the peace and to enforce the law if necessary.
The presence of authorities comes as the farm continues its 9-month fight to try and save close to 400 ostriches from being killed by CFIA after an avian flu outbreak here last December.
These guys are big and beautiful. They're prehistoric animals that have survived millions of years, but they're on the chopping block for CFIA.
The bird's plight has attracted plenty of attention across the country and across the border, including the U.S. Secretary for Health, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who wrote in support of the ostriches.
We're just getting an outpouring of love and support, like all these people here, and all we want to do is just see a better way.
Supporters remain outside the farm, but have left some neighbors frustrated and worried.
As long as their activities are peaceful, lawful, and safe, and do not impede the business of CFIA, they'll be allowed to stay.
Earlier this month, the Federal Court of Appeal judge ordered the cull must proceed, but the farm hopes to challenge that ruling. Police are not saying how long they will remain at the farm, only that they will be there as long as needed. The CFIA did not respond to CTV's request for an interview. Michelle Brunoro, CTV News, Vancouver.
Well, I don't know if you saw this, but in case you missed it, the wedding of the year has happened, and it was in Halifax.
It's amazing to have this many people come out. There was even overflow on the street.
Good Robot Brewing hosted a dog wedding for Ava and Hunter, not those first two people you heard from, actual dogs. Two have been inseparable since they were puppies. The owners won the opportunity to do this after seeing a post from the brewery. The ticket for the event was sold out. Lots of people wanted to see this happen. Proceeds went to a local animal rescue.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even really enjoy planning my own wedding. It's so much stress, let alone a wedding for dogs.
I bet the cake was a big hit.
Yeah. Hopefully it was dog friendly.
This wedding has gone to the dogs. All right, brings us to our question today.
Yeah, so a lot of answers in our inbox this morning. We're asking you, how do you feel about the changes coming to the CFL? We had Donna on our text line saying, I don't like the shortened field. It affects local football leagues, it affects seating and season ticket holders, and it does not enhance the game, in her opinion. We also had Heather on X saying, I think they're great for the game and will create more excitement. I do not feel as though we are trying to become more like the NFL. There are still many differences between the two leagues. So different perspective there. Robert, bringing it back a bit. The changes are clearly about satisfying the larger markets to Americanize our game, which in the end is about money, he says. The new CFL commissioner was sweating, tried to deny these facts, but you know, people feel differently about that, as we just saw from Heather, though.
Stuart Johnston will be on the show this morning at 8:40. We'll see what he says.
Yeah. Well, Rick also saying not a fan of the changes, but we want to hear from you. Text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply, of course. You can also scan that QR code. Keep things respectful, but tell us, how do you feel about these new changes?
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday. And for it, we take you to Atlanta. We got the Nationals visiting the Braves, bottom 5. Hassan Kim hits one in center. Jacob Young sliding.
They say he did.
Makes the catch, but the ball pops out of his glove. He reaches back with his bare hand to secure it.
Right there. He may have hurt himself.
Great concentration by Young, who makes a circus catch for the second time in 2 games.
Looks like he is in some significant.
Looks like he hurt his hand on that one as well. It is your must-see moment from Monday. And kind of Tuesday on TSN, we got dub playoffs. We got the Mercury battling the Lynx in Game 2. Minnesota with a 1-0 lead in the series. Pre-game coverage for that one gets underway at 7 Eastern to 4 Pacific. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
it's time for your morning mystery. Get your whiteboards ready. Today it is a thing. Let's get clue number 1. There are somewhere between 138 and 300 different types of this communication used globally.
Speaking.
Number 2 could be facial expressions, hand movement, and position gestures and body language all play a key role. And clue number 3, recognized annually by the United Nations on September 23rd, which is, of course, today. Get your markers ready. I think I got this one. JD looks pretty confident.
Yeah.
Kayleen, are you drawing a sad face again?
No, I think I may know it.
Okay. Okay, 2. Sign language across the board. The answer is sign languages. Today is International Day of Sign Languages.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
If you're heading out the door, it's time for your school day forecast, brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. It's a bit cool to start the day, only about 2 degrees in Regina right now and 3 degrees in Saskatoon, so definitely grab a light jacket on your way out the door. The good news is that we are going to be seeing some very high temperatures in the afternoon, as you can see, and some fairly low wind speeds down towards the south. A little bit increased for Saskatoon this afternoon, but the highs gorgeous with that sunshine. 23 degrees for Regina by final bell, and 25 degrees for Saskatoon by that final bell. And as we go to break, here's a look at today's gas prices in Regina. The most common cost to fill up is $135.9. You can find regular fuel for as low as $114.9. In Saskatoon, the common cost to fill up $135.9, but you can find the lowest price as low as $124.9. Taking a look at those farm markets now, the street price of canola $548.82 per ton, and the futures price at $611.80 per ton this morning. Amber Durham wheat sitting at $278.60 per ton, and red spring wheat at $229.27 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 72.38 cents US. After the break, more reaction from those CFL changes as we're joined by analyst and former player Luke Mullender. Stay with us.
Saskatchewan continues 7:30. Thank you for being with us. The NDP in Saskatchewan suggesting the province make big changes in the healthcare system through a province-wide consultation process. The opposition have launched a new website where patients, families, frontline workers, and concerned citizens can share their experiences. The NDP say they plan to gather that information for about 6 months to create a report which would then be used to formulate solutions. Although, as the opposition, they would need the Sask Party's support.
We know that the stakes are very high. We know that we can't afford to continue going in the wrong direction. And so I would say that everything is on the table. And we know that the people that are out there experiencing the healthcare, accessing the healthcare system, working in the healthcare system have ideas. And that's where we want the seed of this big, bold change to come from.
The government of Saskatchewan says they're doing a number of things to address concerns, including adding positions in emergency rooms and moving administrative expenses to those working on the front lines. We talked to the health minister yesterday. That interview is available on our website right now. Jimmy Kimmel live back on the air tonight after public outcry over his suspension.
That campaign that you all launched, pretending that you were going to cancel Hulu. While secretly racing through 4 seasons of Only Murders in the Building. That really worked. Congratulations.
In announcing the return, Disney said it decided to suspend Kimmel last week because the comments he made in the wake of Kirk's murder were ill-timed and insensitive. Although Kimmel's suspension is over, his show will still be missing from many screens in the U.S. One of the biggest affiliate groups in the U.S. will not be airing Kimmel's show. That is Sinclair Broadcasting. It will air news in that time slot instead. A piece of Prince Albert's broadcast history is heading for the auction block. The building that housed live television programming for decades will be sold to the highest bidder. Jasmine Peltier takes us to the former home of CTV Prince Albert.
It's a piece of Prince Albert history. The old broadcast building off Central Avenue is up for auction. The facility saw many local media personalities over several decades, and Prince Albert's Jim Scarrow spent many years of his broadcast career working out of the station.
I think when people saw the advertisements for the building going up for auction with all the pictures, they could identify very quickly with the building, and there was, I think, kind of an emotional tug to it.
Scarrow says former Prime Minister John Diefenbaker would stop in at the station.
He'd come to the radio station and would be just like a newsman peeling off the reams of paper that had come in overnight and got his news that way in that building.
Gord Barnett was a camera operator and field producer who moved from Ontario to Prince Albert in 1975 for a job at the station.
As far as operations, I was their first hire as somebody who was a college graduate.
Over the course of his nearly 45-year career, Barnett worked for many broadcasting companies like CKBI and CTV, but was always based out of the building on 10th Street. He has since moved back to Ontario, but keeps the memories with him.
It was great just for that opportunity to meet really interesting people. And the interesting people weren't just celebrities and politicians stuff. So many amazing people.
The old station sits on auction as is, including the parking lot and all contents except for antenna towers and communication relays. The auction closes October 9th. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Back to one of our top stories today, the Canadian Football League making some big changes that includes moving the goalposts, literally.
Our game must continue to evolve and modernize for our players, our fans, and our partners.
The league is moving the goalposts from the front of the end zone to the back. This will allow more touchdowns, they say, in the middle, removing an obstruction for players and creating better sight lines for fans. The field is also shrinking from 110 yards to 100. The single point known as the Rouge staying, but only for tackles in the end zone. And team benches will be on opposite sides in every stadium. Right now, that's not the case. The league says the changes will create more consistency and lead to more touchdowns. So for more on this, more reaction, we bring in a former player and the radio analyst for your Saskatchewan Roughriders, Luke Mullender. What is your initial reaction to these changes?
My initial reaction is they are great. I think they're a positive step in the right direction for the league. The things that make the Canadian football game great are the waggle, the width of the field, the fact that there's 3 downs, the fact that you have defensive and offensive linemen 1 yard off the ball. None of that changes. And man, I was a big fan. I didn't like the fact that the goalposts were in front. I agree with the commissioner and the Board of Governors. Makes the game cleaner and it makes it easier to watch on TV now that you're not seeing these big yellow things in the way. And for offensive coordinators, it really opens it up. I think they spent a lot of time scheming the edges of the field in the red zone, and now they get to scheme the middle of the field as well.
They say that this will all result in more touchdowns. Was scoring a problem in the CFL? I don't think so.
No, scoring's not a problem in the CFL. The problem in the CFL is that we need to grow the game. Offense sells tickets and defense wins championships. So I think that the more touchdowns that you're able to or potentially able to put on the field, the easier it is to sell the game. That's what we have to do. I understand people wanting to keep the game Canadian and not wanting to change some of the things that are fundamentally special about the game. And I don't see any of those changes been made in this instance. And we need to score more. We need to be able to market and grow this game, and I think that this is a good step in the right direction.
One thing that has been pointed out time and time again is that this was unanimously passed by the Board of Governors, but there are some players that are upset, including the man on your screen, Nathan Rourke, one of the superstars, saying they should have been consulted. Do you believe they should have been?
Yeah, I mean, I think that in a way they probably were. I think that, there was probably a conversation with the CFLPA. I think that maybe, I'm not sure that probably, I would assume that Nathan may regret some of the things that he said, because I saw his interview, and he essentially said that the league was special for, 3 major reasons, the reasons I mentioned, and those weren't the reasons those weren't the rule changes that took place. So I think that now that players have had a chance to reflect, especially as a quarterback, I would assume that Nathan likes the fact that the field in the red zone is a little bit more open. So again, You know what? When these things, when these fundamental shifts happen in any business, I think that it's impossible to consult everybody. I think that you need to make sure that you, the top level and the right organization or the right sort of arms of the organization are consulted. But you're never going to be able to get to everybody, and it's 2025, so you're never going to be able to please everybody either, Daryl.
Before I get you out of here, I want to know, Luther, your son, shout out to him. He is a young budding football star. The game has changed at the professional level. Is this likely to trickle down? And if that's the case, is that a good thing?
You know what? I'm not sure if it trickles down. I think that in the Canadian, I think in Canadian football specifically, we've really got to focus in on some of the other pieces like coaching and refereeing. I think that, you know, I would still see Canadian high school and youth sport. I don't think that, you know, a change in the end zone is needed for them. Again, I think that I'd love to see more resources put into coaching and you know, some equipment, but more importantly, also the refereeing. So again, do you have to change the field of play in high school or youth sport? Absolutely not. I don't think so. Those players, you got to remember, Daryl, only 1% of college athletes are ever going to get into the CFL or the NFL anyways, right? So I don't think that you need to make fundamental shifts there.
Let's change the game dramatically. Luke Mullender, thank you so much for your insight. I appreciate it. Let's get on to this. There is a new Guinness World Record for the longest game of catch. It was dubbed Yogi Berra's Big Catch, commemorating the 100th anniversary of Yogi Berra's birth. Parents, children, friends, colleagues gathering, and major leaguers to play a catch. In total, 2,358 people paired off on the field at Yogi Berra Stadium. Kayleen Sawatsky, is this a great day for us to head outside and play a game of catch?
Oh, it's going to be a fabulous day to get outside and really do anything. Just get outside and enjoy it. Well, we still have these beautiful temperatures. Right now, not so gorgeous in the morning. You definitely need a very light jacket, but in the afternoon, temperatures are going to be well above the seasonal average. That's about 16 degrees for this time of year. Many places getting into those 20-degree temperatures, some places even getting into those high 20s, and tomorrow it's just going to get even warmer. Now, 2 degrees in Regina, but 3 degrees in Saskatoon. We're not seeing too much in terms of that cloud cover this morning, just a little bit. You can see that coming in on our futurecast there. But really what we're looking forward to is some more of that rain coming in from Alberta, impacting northern Saskatchewan into the late evening, into those overnight hours, and then into tomorrow morning. Current temperatures now showing that Buffalo Narrows at 10 degrees. Prince Albert, cool start to the day, only at 0 degrees to start. 5 degrees in Hudson Bay, 6 degrees for Spiritwood, 9 degrees for Swift Current this morning, 5 degrees in Weyburn, and 7 degrees for Estevan. Take a look at today's forecast, though. Just beautiful. Battlefords up to 27 degrees. Moose Jaw up to 27 as well. Cooler through Estevan, only reaching that high of 24 degrees today. And I say only because it's lower than what we have been talking about. But again, still well above the seasonal average. It's just a beautiful afternoon expected. Not seeing too much in terms of those wind speeds either, other than in cities like Swift Current, Saskatoon, and up through Prince Albert. Going to be seeing those gusts up to about 30 kilometers per hour. Now, the 7-day forecast looking equally as beautiful for Regina. 23 degrees today, 28 tomorrow. That is going to be the day where we peak for those temperatures this week. 20 degrees on Thursday, 19 degrees on Friday, and then some more cloud cover coming in for the rest of the weekend and into the next work week. In Saskatoon, 7-day forecast showing 25 degrees will be the high today, 26 tomorrow, dropping down slightly to 20 degrees on Thursday, 18 degrees on Friday, and again, seeing some more cloud cover return for the weekend, but temperatures still remaining nice and high. We're seeing some fairly low wind gusts other than that day on Friday when we could see them increasing again up to about 30 kilometers per hour. But other than that, not a lot to be concerned about in that 7-day forecast. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is sunrise. Head to the contest page on our website or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word along with your information for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
Wardrobe consideration by Colin O'Brien Man's Shop, defining contemporary style for over 20 years.
The incidents have happened at a business on the 300 block of Albert Street North between the dates of May the 29th and August the 29th. Several times a man has entered the store and stolen several bottles of liquor. During that time, he has also been violent towards the employees. If you know who this is, call Crime Stoppers.
I'm Constable Dana Adams with the Regina Police Service. Crime Stoppers will pay up to $2,000 cash reward for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina. Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
Tuesdays really are the sweetest day of the week here on Your Morning Saskatchewan, because this is the day we check in with the Regina Humane Society. Bill Thorne joining us now. Bill, before we came up here, I had said to my team members, I really hope Bill has a cat to show off today. Who do you have?
I certainly have a cat today. This is Christoph, an 11-week-old bundle of energy. Typical kitten. He wants to go exploring. We were playing around here a second ago. Very, very curious, I'm finding. And orange, too, which you can see. And he's also sporting the green ear tattoo, which means that he's had his neuter surgery, and he's got a microchip, and he's ready to go home the same day if you want to adopt him. So I'm really hoping people come in and get this guy out of the shelter and into his forever home.
And as I hear it, Christoph is in good company over there. You guys have quite a few animals in your capacity right now. Talk to us about those levels.
Yeah, we do. It's been very busy this year. We've talked about it several times over the past number of weeks and months, and right now is no exception. We have a number of dogs available, right from puppies to adult dogs and seniors. The same thing with cats. Every coat color you can imagine. We've got a couple of gorgeous black cats, which I've always liked. I had one for 21 years. Unfortunately, just lost him last month. But I've always had a special spot in my heart for black cats. There's a couple of gorgeous ones here now. So if you want to come and check them out, you can. We even have a couple of rabbits. One's even named William, so that might be one you want to check out.
Absolutely. Okay, we're always talking about ways that people can help out the Regina Humane Society. If they can't, unfortunately, adopt right now, there's still a lot of options for them. Let's talk about how you can become a corporate sponsor.
Actually, yes, you can. We do a thing called corporate volunteering, which is a unique way to do some team building or that kind of thing. And you can come and make some enrichment toys for the cats and the dogs. Sometimes corporate volunteers come and help us out with keeping the grounds looking good, and any one of a number of other things. So if you're interested in that, you can certainly check out our website. And we also have space rental too. If you're having a meeting coming up during the course of your week, we have some beautiful space in our classroom area that we can set you up for that meeting as well, and that's available on our website, all the information about that.
Last week, we introduced our viewers to Unity Sweepstakes, helping out multiple charities in southern Saskatchewan. Can you tell us how people can help you out through that right now as well?
You betcha. I think we've had a couple of $5,000 early bird winners already this month, and a new draw coming up, I believe, tomorrow. You can get your tickets. There's a button you can press right on the homepage of our website. It's called Unity Sweepstakes. You also might see something in your mail over the next little while, and it's a great fundraiser that helps you win up to, I think it's $5,000 to $10,000 during our early birds each month, and every month we'll be giving away a $50,000 minimum prize, and could be more too, depending how things go for you. So check that out, and of course, all the money raised for that will help us and 6 or 7 other charities in the province as well.
Wonderful. All right, thank you so much for your time this morning, Bill. It looks like Christoph is ready to run off and play. If you are interested in adopting or just helping out the Regina Humane Society, you can head on over to their website for more information.
Here's what's happening in our community. A medical fundraiser dinner and silent auction happening Thursday, September 25th at 6:30 p.m. at the Serbian Club, 2775 Avonhurst Drive, 306-541-4465. If you're in Weyburn, check out the Weyburn Concert Series Thursday, September 25th at 6:30 p.m., 633 King Street, Weyburn Cognet Center. If you'd like your event shown here, email us, reginacommunity@bellmedia.ca. Do so at least 2 weeks in advance.
Good morning.
morning, Canada. Coming to you from Buffalo Pound near Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. It's a beautiful morning here. Purple Martin House, they're busy as well. Have a good one.
It's September 23rd, and we have these milestones to share with you. We're starting off with a big happy birthday going out to Dalton today for his 18th birthday. We hope you have a great day with lots of love from Jace, June, Grace, Mom, and Dad. Turning 20 years old is Dylan. His mom, dad, and sisters wrote in with the message, "Good luck in Onion Lake this year. Make us proud." Happy birthday, Dylan. Happy birthday wishes also going out to Lily. She's marking her 17th birthday today, and her dad, Lisa, Noah, and the girls are all sending her so much love. Have a great day. We're also wishing a big happy birthday to Luke, celebrating being 1 year older today. We hope you have a fantastic day and a great year ahead. And finally, happy birthday to Avery, turning 11 years old today with lots of love from her mom, dad, sister, Peyton, and dog, Lexi. Have a great day. If you have anything that you would like to celebrate, send us your milestones to Your Morning Saskatchewan at ctv.ca. Make sure you attach a photo, tell us what you're celebrating and when, and make sure you send those in 1 day in advance.
Okay, so we've established that AI is not writing your vows, and there are songs that you are not or are playing at your wedding.
Yes, that's what we're looking forward to today. We got the meeting with the DJ tonight, so we want to know if you had one song on your must playlist, what that one is, and one song on your do not playlist, what that one is. You can text over to 54321. Also, we gave away the $500 at 7 o'clock. Put it out there that we wanted to do that with the big money montage. So that one is gone. Congratulations to Danny. And then we'll have a new montage coming up at 9 a.m. and right before that, too, another chance for you to win some Darius Rucker tickets with our useless question of the day.
Two things. One, I DJ'd weddings for years, and you never asked me to do it. And number two, the songs that generally people say, I never want to hear this at the wedding, are the ones that pack the floor. So take everybody's advice with a grain of salt.
We did have one person say they never want to hear the chicken dance, but when it comes on, the tie goes up over their head, and they are grooving to that, like, with everything in their body.
It's just like the YMCA, right? Thanks, Chase.
Exactly. Thanks, Daryl.
The first trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu has dropped. Following up 3 seasons of the popular Mandalorian TV show, Pedro Pascal returns for the movie, which follows the famous bounty hunter and his trusty sidekick as they navigate the early days of the New Republic. Sigourney Weaver and Jeremy Allen White also star in the Walt Disney Studios film. Look for The Mandalorian and Grogu in theaters May 22nd, 2026.
Peter Parker.
Tom Holland is taking a few days off from filming the upcoming Spider-Man movie after sustaining a concussion over the weekend. The incident happened while filming last Friday, and the concussion is said to be mild. Spider-Man Brand New Day is scheduled for a July 2026 release. Harry Styles ran the Berlin Marathon this weekend, the former One Direction singer completing the race in under 3 hours. The profile linked to his bib number shows he registered under an alias. This isn't Styles' first marathon. In March, he hit the streets of Tokyo for the city's annual 26.2-mile race. And speaking of One Direction, Styles' former bandmate Zayn has announced a Las Vegas residency set to take place this January at Dolby Live at Park MGM. It follows up the singer's solo tour last year, which marked his first tour dates since leaving the band in 2015. Pre-sale tickets go on sale Wednesday and are available to the general public on Friday. And the boss is celebrating a birthday. Bruce Springsteen is 76 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Time for your second helping of Sidebar. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. It's all about perspective.
I'll win the medal. I'll win.
Little Levi just as excited about losing as his big brother is about the medal.
I would be so proud as a parent to have a child that celebrates wins and losses equally.
I tried.
Agreed.
I tried so hard.
Yeah, this is a proud moment. It's a cute moment for the kids, but a proud moment for the parents, I think.
Jeremy, what do you got for us?
Oh, we got stranger danger is a real thing, even in the animal kingdom. Check it out.
Emby does not like the cows.
It's Bambi the golden retriever, not a fan of those big bad cows in the field. This is her first time seeing cattle, and honestly, can you blame her? Look how she's clinging to mom's leg.
Oh, just knows who
Cows are
will protect her.
Give her another year, she'll go try to do some cow tipping. Right? Get on over there.
I like that. All right, one more for you, and now to a little one who certainly has a lot to say.
Tell me.
What a chatty Kathy. She doesn't know how to speak yet officially, but she likes to squeal.
I can talk to this kid all day.
Yeah.
All day. He's got a lot to say, so do we. After this short timeout, we're back with more Your Morning Saskatchewan in 2 minutes.
This is not a transition, this is a rupture. This is a sharp change in a short period of time.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is at the 80th General Assembly of the UN as the U.S. President prepares to address leaders.
I want to say it like it is. Don't take Tylenol. Don't take it.
U.S. President Donald Trump gives unqualified and unproven medical advice linking Tylenol use by pregnant women to autism.
Our game must continue to evolve and modernize for our players, our fans, and our partners.
The Canadian Football League making some big changes that includes moving the goalposts. We've got all kinds of reaction, including the commissioner. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl Rummel.
And I'm Kayleen Swatsky. Thank you for waking up with us. We appreciate you.
Oh, man. Tomorrow, my baby girl turns 1.
Oh, my, 1 already?
1 tomorrow.
Oh, my. Happy birthday, Aria.
Goes by so fast.
It's hard. Yeah,
Oh, it's
mine's
tough.
already full-blown toddler mode.
And in no mode.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no to everything. No, and has the finger wiggle down.
We need video of that. Let's get to your news headlines. It's an exciting day for the CFL, but it's coming with some conversation, announcing some major changes are coming. Some, they're hoping, bring more excitement to the game and fans back. Glenn Campbell reports.
The biggest changes to the CFL game will happen in 2027. The field will be shortened from 110 to 100 yards, but the width will remain the same at 65 yards. Changes in the end zone will see the upright move to the back, and the size will shrink from 20 to 15 yards. CFL Commissioner Stuart Johnston says it's all about making the game more entertaining.
We think touchdowns are an important driver for fandom. And ultimately, what we're doing is we're trading field goals for touchdowns.
But next season, we'll also see changes. In 2026, the Rouge will no longer include a single point for a missed field goal attempt or when kickoffs or punts sail through the end zone without being touched.
This removes the possibility that the Grey Cup or a playoff matchup, or any game for that matter, will be decided by a missed field goal or a punt or a kickoff through the end zone.
The only way a single point will be rewarded is if a punt, field goal, or kickoff settles in the end zone and the returner fails to take it out or takes a knee. Next year, all teams will have a bench on opposite sides of the field, cutting down distances for substitutions. And a new 35-second play clock will begin as soon as the previous play is whistled dead. Stamps head coach and general manager Dave Dickinson learned about the changes on his way to practice on Monday.
Really wasn't consulted and didn't have any input on it, so I'd rather digest what I hear, go back and actually read what was put in, probably have a little bit more to say down the road.
Linebacker Adam Bighill is part of the CFL's executive board and was informed what the changes would be.
This is a bit of Stuart's vision in driving this game forward, and we're going to stand behind it as long as that's taking care of player safety and us growing in the game, and we're happy.
Online, many CFL fans are expressing outrage, from describing the changes as garbage to saying it destroys what makes the league Canadian. But here in Calgary, fans don't seem to mind.
So I think it's a pretty good rule, you know, and be more excited, more fast, you know.
The changes aren't going to be too bad, I don't think.
Glenn Campbell, CTV Sports, Calgary.
Still a couple of minutes to get your opinion in by texting us at 10400. Standard message rates may apply, or email us at yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca. Other news this morning, the Prime Minister in New York this morning as the United Nations 80th General Assembly gets underway. The Prime Minister will then co-chair an event with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, including a focus on Ukrainian children abducted by Russia. Regarding Palestinian statehood, Carney says Canada and like-minded countries will work with Palestinian Authority, but Hamas would have no role in governance.
Recognizing the state of Palestine, led by the Palestinian Authority, empowers those who seek peaceful coexistence and the end of Hamas. It doesn't legitimize terrorism. And in no way does it compromise Canada's steadfast support for the State of Israel.
And this morning, U.S. President Donald Trump expected to call out American allies, including Canada, for the international effort to recognize a Palestinian state. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says Trump disagrees with the move and accuses the nations of rewarding Hamas for the attack on October 7th. The Prime Minister's first 5 nation-building projects are getting mixed reviews from Canadians who want more focus on oil and gas. That's according to a new poll from the Angus Reid Institute. Over 2 in 5 respondents said they're satisfied with the projects announced. 32% say they're unsatisfied, and just under a quarter of people polled say they're not quite sure yet. Those who said they're unsatisfied with the federal government so far, they say Carney needs to focus on fast-tracking more oil and gas development overall. Respondents feel positively when it comes to improving relationships with non-U.S. trade partners and removing interprovincial trade barriers. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has carried out a warrant at a BC Ostrich farm.
We're here, our primary role is to keep the peace and to enforce the law if necessary.
Now, the RCMP arrived at the farm with the CFIA agents yesterday morning. Almost 400 ostriches have been ordered to be culled after the avian flu outbreak at the farm last year. The farm insists the birds are healthy. It's trying to convince the Supreme Court to hear their case in a last-ditch effort to save the ostriches. Police say they'll stay at the farm as long as they are needed. Regina police have charged a 4th person in relation to a shooting incident that injured an 11-year-old girl. This one happened on August 11th when police were called to the 1000 block of Edgar Street just after 2 in the morning following a report that a girl was suffering from an apparent gunshot wound. She was inside the home at the time of the shooting. Now on Friday, 18-year-old Noah Pollock Mayer was charged with conspiracy to commit murder, possession of property obtained by crime over $5,000, and failure to comply with release conditions. Made his first court appearance on Monday. Let's turn our attention to Saskatoon, where they are honoring residential school survivors ahead of TRC Day. Jeremy.
Yeah, Daryl, that's of course happening next Tuesday, and the survivors flag has gone up. It honors residential school survivors and those impacted by the residential school system. Each element of the flag chosen by survivors from across Canada. The flag-raising ceremony also heard from community leaders and residential school survivors.
It was only in the 1970s that we began to talk about the experiences, the traumatic experiences of being institutionalized.
National Truth and Reconciliation Day is next Tuesday. Saskatoon City Council will decide whether a developer can skip the taxes to encourage construction of a new high-rise. It's a 14-story building being built on Broadway Avenue, where the former grocery store used to be. The building will have commercial space on the ground floor with a parkade occupying the next 3 floors, and then 124 residential units taking up the rest of the building. To encourage construction, city administration's recommending council approve a 5-year tax abatement, which will save the company more than $1.6 million in taxes. Construction on the project expected to wrap up next year. And Daryl, speaking of buildings, a rebrand is underway in the Queen City.
Yeah, ongoing uncertainty over the future of the Regina Exhibition Association Limited may have an impact on attracting major concerts to Saskatchewan's capital. That's according to the new CEO of the organization. Wayne Mantika reports.
Be strong because it's stronger to love somebody.
The Real District says it's in a holding pattern when it comes to attracting major concerts.
Until the City of Regina resolves motion MN 25-2, which is the question around governance, should Real be rolled back into the City of Regina or another governance structure?
Real believes the situation may be creating hesitancy with concert promoters.
Potentially, yeah. There's some uncertainty from the live entertainment industry that says, should Regina continue to be a spot when there's a question of, will the promoter be dealing with Real District or will the promoter be dealing with the City of Regina?
However, the situation isn't preventing Real from exploring opportunities.
Chapel Rowan, I think there's, we're ready, we're waiting, we've shared our enthusiasm for it, and, I think the community would say, we're here for you. You've made a promise, and we'd be eager to help you fulfill that promise.
The new head of Real made the remarks following an event where Bungie assumed naming rights to the former Viterra International Trade Center. It follows merger of the two companies.
You know what? I'd love to see Garth Brooks come back. He put on such a great show last time.
Did you go to that one?
I did.
A city report on the future of Real will be completed by next summer. Real says any decisions are up to the city, but having certainty as soon as possible would be beneficial to Real's operation. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Airports in Copenhagen and Oslo have also reopened after closures caused by drone sightings. Denmark's Prime Minister this morning called the incursion a serious attack on critical infrastructure, adding she cannot rule out that they came from Russia. Main airports in Copenhagen and Oslo were both closed for about 4 hours following the drone sightings. Radar shows planes being diverted as flights were not allowed to take off or land.
We stand ready and willing to continue to defend every inch of Allied territory.
NATO's Secretary General spoke about an hour ago after the meeting on Russia's violation of Estonian airspace last week. Asked if NATO is ready to shoot down Russian planes over its territory, Mark Rutte said these decisions are made in real time. French waiters put their speed to the test, racing through Paris to raise awareness about the role of the café in French culture. Oh, that's fun. Armed with trays filled with water, coffee, and a croissant, hundreds of contestants had to walk, not run, about 3 kilometers without spilling a drop. This race began in 1914, and after pausing for more than a decade, made an historic return last year. Could you do it, Kayleen? Could you go the whole way 3 kilometers without spilling a single drop?
No, and you know what? My apologies to everybody who had me as a server before I got into news, because I did used to be a server, and there was a few times I was dropping a drink without running 3 kilometers.
Well, we saw your spatial awareness, so yeah. Probably a chair in the way.
There's probably a few people watching right now thinking, that's where I knew her from. She's the waitress that dropped my drinks on me.
Oh, no. Dry cleaning bills you can just keep. We're not going to pay those.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Yeah, I've moved on. Let's talk about the weather, though. It's been a cooler start to the day. So 7 degrees now. So things have been improving in the past few minutes. That's nice to see. Just about 30 minutes ago, we were only sitting at 2 degrees. And in Saskatoon, very similar this morning, sitting at 7 degrees. Now in the afternoon, it is going to be warm across the province today, but we are going to be seeing some increased winds in the areas around Saskatoon, not so much around Regina. Now here's how we compare, though, when it comes to looking across the country. The hot spots are down in Ontario today, Toronto up to 21 at this current moment, but later on into the afternoon, temperatures aren't actually going to be all too different. Regina's high is going to be about 23 today, Saskatoon up to 25, and Toronto is going to be 24. So although they are getting a head start on that warmth this morning, it's not going to be too different in the afternoon hours. Moose Jaw reaching 27 this afternoon. Battleford's up to 27 as well. Swift Current up to 26. Yorkton up to 24 degrees, and Estevan up to 24 degrees as well. A lot of areas expecting a whole lot of sunshine today, and you can see that on our future cast that we're not really seeing a whole lot of cloud cover on the way. What we are going to be seeing is that weather system making its its way in from Alberta. It's not going to start until the late hours tonight, continuing on all throughout the afternoon hours and then into tomorrow morning as well. Now, your 7-day forecast looking absolutely beautiful, especially when you take into consideration that we are now officially into fall. The seasonal average for this time of year is 16 degrees for both Saskatoon and Regina. So these temperatures really blowing that out of the water. 23 degrees today, 28 tomorrow, and that's going to be the day that we see temperatures peaking for this week across the province. 20 degrees on Thursday. So temperatures are falling, but still above the average. 19 degrees on Friday. Saturday in Regina, we start to see that cloud cover start to increase. Temperatures are still going to be nice and warm, though. 25 on Saturday, 26 on Sunday, and 23 on Monday. In Saskatoon, 25 degrees today, 26 degrees tomorrow. Again, that's the day we're seeing that peak for the temperatures. 20 degrees on Thursday, dropping down to 18 degrees on Friday. We're seeing that cloud cover start to increase just 1 day earlier in the central zone than what we're going to be seeing down towards the south. Temperatures going back up for your weekend. Again, 24 on Saturday, 23 on Sunday, and 23 degrees expected on Monday.
In case you missed it, we have live footage of Daryl and Kayleen arriving to work every morning.
How you guys get these? How did they obtain this?
Yes, who got this footage?
Who doesn't love some good hobby horsing? What do you guys think? Is this something you'd be into?
I mean, clearly we are.
On the way to work every day.
We even live one block from each other, so we could do this in unison.
So much prancing.
The road, yeah.
So much prancing to be done.
Hobby horsing is something that I know people take seriously, though. So, you know, we watch the clips.
How do you?
But some people take it quite seriously.
If you're one of them, email us. I want to have you on the show. I want to ask you why.
Yeah, we have questions about hobby horsing. We would like to ask.
So far to this sport, I say nay. I say nay.
I think it's for the clicks mostly, at least for these gals.
We're willing to have our opinions brought in.
You can sway me.
Yeah, let's talk.
Let's talk about swaying opinions. Question of the day, we're talking about how you feel about the changes coming to the CFL. We had Luke Mullender on the show a little while ago. He likes them. He's in support. You can find that on our website. We'll have the commissioner on in just a moment, but let's throw it out to the real people, the fans, the ones that buy tickets.
Well, we know a lot of people don't love change, though, is the problem. We have had a couple people this morning saying they're in favor, but really a flood of messages have come in saying that they are against it. Some answers on our X page saying, I'm okay with the rule changes, but who's really going to pay for all the community fields to be reconfigured nationwide, right? Something to consider. Michelle saying, at a time when Canada needs to separate itself from the U.S. shadow, this is a step in the wrong direction to try to emulate their football league. That's kind of something we've been hearing a lot today, especially trying to shift from the distinction, you know, of being Canadian versus American, and saying that as well. So she just thinks that the timing is not right for these changes in the political climate. Neil saying, I am in favor of the changes regarding missed field goals and moving goalposts back and moving teams to opposite sides of the field, but leave the field length as it is.
Okay. The commissioner, by the way, is not American. He's Canadian. He worked 28 years at TSN, so you can shelf that comment.
Yeah. Brent saying the CFL is dying. That's a hard take. That's
7 of 9 of them are losing money every year.
Yeah, but he says that when nobody watches or even goes to the games, a change is needed. The diehard fans are few and far between these days, so Brent is in support.
Brent firing out the hard truths this morning.
Yeah, we have a lot of different opinions, and we have so many more that we don't even have time to share. But thank you so much for sharing your answers for today's question of the day. Thank you for the most part, keeping them all respectful. We'll have another question of the day for you tomorrow.
Now to the claims from the U.S. president that Tylenol use by pregnant women may be linked to autism and other neurodevelopmental disorders. Pauline Chan now and says here in Canada, the connection is under much scrutiny.
It is one of the most common products you'll find in North American medicine cabinets, acetaminophen, Tylenol, or in other parts of the world, paracetamol. But now a new study from the U.S. links the commonly used drug with autism, ADHD, and other neurodevelopmental disorders.
The FDA will issue a physician's notice about the risk of acetaminophen during pregnancy and begin the process to initiate a safety label change. HHS will launch a nationwide public service campaign to inform families and protect public health.
I'm certainly not convinced with this purported link to autism. I think the better quality studies have shown that there frankly is no link there. Let's not forget that pregnant women do get sick. They do develop fevers. They do develop pain. Tylenol is probably safer than many of the other over-the-counter medications like Advil and ibuprofen. Those anti-inflammatories do have a number of side effects.
And the makers of Tylenol have also issued a statement. We believe independent, sound science clearly shows that taking acetaminophen does not cause autism. Acetaminophen is the safest pain reliever option for pregnant women as needed throughout their entire pregnancy. Without it, women face dangerous choices, suffer through conditions like fevers that are potentially harmful to both mom and baby, or use riskier alternatives. Developmental pediatrician Dr. Melanie Penner is with Holland Bloorview Kids Rehab.
There is not a single cause for autism or for other neurodevelopmental conditions that we deal with in our clinics. And autism really seems to be a complex combination that is unique to each child of their genetics, but also some factors in their environment that together make up this clinical group of symptoms or features that we call autism.
She cautions against looking for a single silver bullet cause for autism and encourages awareness and acceptance for a complex condition that affects an estimated 2% of Canadian children. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
Fall is the perfect time to refresh your beauty routine, and Michelle Jobin has 3 must-haves that will set you up for a beautiful season ahead. Good morning, Michelle. Let's start with skincare.
Good morning, Kayleen. Yes, let's dive right into skincare. So important as we head into these cooler, drier months as well to reassess what we need for our skin. So I brought in my superhero product right now. This is Olay Regenerist Micro Sculpting Cream. And the reason it is a superhero is because it really does it all in one. I have combination skin. Not sure about you, but I sort of need all the things. I need hydration. And then I also want to make sure that I'm not using anything that is too greasy. We never like that feeling on our skin, right? So very luxurious texture. It's nice and thick, lovely fresh scent, and it's, science-backed, dermatologist tested, and a great value. It's available at Walmart, so it's easy to find without doing anything drastic, and you get those visible results in 28 days.
Perfect. A great tip to keep us looking fresh this fall. And you have some tips to keep our hair looking great, especially when we're heading out for those photo sessions at the pumpkin patch or the corn maze.
Exactly. And, Kayleen, I think in the summer months, I am one of those people that sometimes air dries my hair a little bit more, but I'm definitely using the heat styling tools again. And I have learned the hard way that I need to use not only a bond repair, but also a heat protectant. So I want to talk about OGX. They have an entire bond protein repair line, but the absolute superhero product for me is the OGX Bond Protein Repair Heat Protect Spray. So it is going to protect your hair when heat styling up to 450 degrees Fahrenheit, 230 degrees Celsius. And it also is a bond repair. And the nice thing is it's this ultra fine mist that does not weigh even my super fine hair down. So it protects from breakage and then strengthens the hair from inside out. And you get hair that is visibly smoother, it's stronger, and it's going to last and look great right year round, I would say.
And our hair has to be perfect for those fall photos, but so does our makeup. It's got to be just right. What are you using these days?
I will tell you in a second, but I did want to let you know that the OGX Bond Protein Repair is available at Shoppers Drug Mart. But we can move on to makeup, and my favorite right now is Fenty Beauty. And it is a favorite for so many reasons, developed by Rihanna, who is an icon of beauty, style, fashion, and music. I love it because it is so inclusive. So the capsule is you can go and simplify because you know you're going to get the shade you need from her, because she has 50 shades of foundation available, plus all sorts of fun products like body lava, gloss bomb sticks for your lips, things that will help our makeup set and stay all day, like the You Mist, because we don't have time to reapply for those fall pumpkin photo shoots as well. And it's all available at FentyBeauty.com.
All right, thanks so much. You can check out what Michelle is up to on her website, michellejobin.com. Thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you so much.
Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is sunrise. Head to the contest page on our website or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter the code word along with your information for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. It is 8:30. If you're staying with us for the commissioner conversation of the CFL, that is coming up in about 10 minutes' time. Let's get to your headlines. The Saskatchewan NDP suggesting the province make some big changes to the healthcare system, and they're going to do so through a province-wide consultation process, launching a website where patients, families, frontline workers, and everyone else can share their opinions and experiences. The NDP say they plan to gather information for about 6 months to create a report, which would then be used to formulate their solutions. Although the opposition would they are the opposition, so the Sask Party would need to support it.
We know that the stakes are very high. We know that we can't afford to continue going in the wrong direction. And so I would say that everything is on the table. And we know that the people that are out there experiencing the healthcare, accessing the healthcare system, working in the healthcare system have ideas. And that's where we want the seed of this big, bold change to come from.
The government says they are doing a number of things to address concerns, including adding physicians in emergency rooms and moving administrative expenses to the frontline workers. A full conversation with the minister yesterday on this show. That's available on our website. Jimmy Kimmel making big news, set to return to television tonight. Disney suspended the late-night host a week ago for a comment made about the Charlie Kirk murder. Elizabeth Schulze on his return.
This morning, after nearly a week off the air, Jimmy Kimmel Live is set to return to late-night TV. Disney saying in a statement, last Wednesday, we made the decision to suspend production on the show to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. It is a decision we made because we felt some of the comments were ill-timed and thus insensitive. We've spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday. The show was paused indefinitely amid apparent threats from the Trump administration, following Kimmel's comments last Monday about the ideology of the alleged shooter in Charlie Kirk's murder.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Last Wednesday, Federal Communications Commission Chairman Brendan Carr, who was appointed by President Trump, seemed to threaten to take action against broadcasters that aired Kimmel's show.
I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or, there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead.
Two of the biggest owners of network TV affiliates, Nexstar and Sinclair, said they wouldn't air the show. Then ABC suspended it indefinitely. President Trump praised Kimmel's suspension, even calling for NBC's late-night hosts to go. And despite his pledge on day one in office to protect free speech, Trump suggested TV outlets that are repeatedly critical of him should lose their broadcast licenses, a move that could take them off the air.
They give me only bad publicity, press. I mean, they're getting a license. I would think maybe their license should be taken away. It will be up to Brendan Carr.
The apparent Current threats from the FCC and ABC's decision to temporarily suspend Kimmel sparked a fierce national debate about free speech. Republican Senator Ted Cruz warning about censorship.
I think it is unbelievably dangerous for government to put itself in the position of saying, we're going to decide what speech we like and what we don't, and we're going to threaten to take you off air if we don't like what you're saying.
Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, New York.
We'll see what happens there. Kamala Harris has given her first interview in the meantime since leaving office and losing the presidential election.
When I write this, it's because I realize that I have and had a certain responsibility that I should have followed through on.
In an interview with MSNBC, the former vice president talked about her new book, touching on her campaign against President Trump, her relationship with Joe Biden, and her political future. When asked about the possibility of a run in 2028, Harris declined to completely rule it out, but said, quote, that's not her focus right now. Her book, 107 Days, is out now. Southern China and Hong Kong bracing for Super Typhoon Regasa. One measure being taken in Guangdong province, they're preemptively felling trees in preparation. More than 370,000 people in the province have been evacuated. In Hong Kong, grocery store shelves are empty, windows taped up in the hopes of limiting damage from the strongest storm anywhere this year. Hundreds of flights have been grounded and schools are closed. Meanwhile, as the Philippines tries to recover from the storm, they're already preparing for another storm churning in the east. So look at France. Heavy rain falling on Toulon. Thousands of homes also left without power in the region. And in northern Italy, firefighters conducted a search and rescue operation as torrential rain triggered widespread flooding and landslides in the northern city of Como. The first launch of a commercial rocket in Canada expected to take place sometime today. This is a look at the rocket in St. Lawrence, Newfoundland. Nord Space is once again attempting to launch its single-engine rocket from the province's south coast. It's 6 meters tall, created using 3D printed metal. In a statement, the company says this is a, quote, high probability launch day. There are 2 launch windows, one of which opened earlier this morning. A new report from Restaurants Canada says 75% of Canadians are dining out fewer times. The main reason, the high cost of living. The report also says higher food prices, labor and insurance are forcing more restaurants to raise prices and cut staff. A number of police officers across Saskatchewan honored Monday for their work getting impaired drivers off the road. Hallie Mandrick reports.
It has been nearly 10 years since the Van de Vorst family lost 4 loved ones in an impaired driving tragedy.
All of our family still thinks, I wish they were there. There's a part of them that we miss. We miss the funniness, we miss the loving, we miss the hugs.
Jordan and Shanda, along with their young children, Cameron and McGuire, all lost their lives in 2016 when an impaired driver hit their vehicle. This tragic event inspired the family to create an award to honor the Saskatchewan police officers who worked to get impaired drivers off the road.
By the officers stopping them from driving impaired, they are saving lives. I wish an officer could have stopped the person who hit our children and our grandchildren, and we wouldn't have to do this.
MAD Canada's Van de Vorst Family Awards have been presented to 191 officers for their efforts in the last year. The awards are handed out in 3 different categories, depending on the number of impaired drivers each officer has removed from Saskatchewan roads. The highest honor being the Platinum Award for those who have charged more than 40 people with impaired driving.
That speaks to the officers' dedication, their desire to make a difference, to make the roads safer, and to do what they can do in their own way to make the roads safer for Saskatchewan.
For the Van de Vorst family, this award is their way of promoting a very important message.
The big reason is that we don't want somebody else to suffer this loss. It's preventable. You don't have to drive after you've been drinking. There's all kinds of ways to get home.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Kayleen, I want to show you a quick video. Hallie went outside to let the dogs out in Saskatoon around midnight and pointed her camera to the sky and caught the northern lights. Take a look.
How beautiful is that?
Doing a little dancing. A little dark, but you get the idea. It was really pretty stuff.
I wouldn't even be mad that my dogs got me up at midnight to put them outside if I got to see that.
Is today a good day to go out and see if we can see any auroras?
Today is going to be a fabulous day to get outside for any reason. Just take the excuse to spend some time outside today. Thankfully, we are starting to see the warm-up happen. Just an hour ago, we were only sitting at about 2 degrees. Now in Regina, sitting at 7 degrees. We are seeing some fairly calm winds to start the day in both Regina and Saskatoon. Some areas could be seeing some increased wind gusts later this afternoon, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But 7 degrees to wake us up in Saskatoon with that nice mix of sun and cloud. Now here's a look at those wind gusts today. So those areas lighting up in blue on your screen could be seeing the highest wind gusts today. That's including Swift Current, Saskatoon, and Prince Albert. But still, they're only gusting up to just over 30 kilometers per hour. Regina, not really going to be seeing those today, only coming in up to about 20 kilometers per hour. Today's forecast, though, showing that with those lower wind speeds today, we are seeing some very high temperatures, especially when you take into consideration that the average for this time of year is only about 16 degrees. So it's very nice to see that Swift Current will be reaching that high of 26 degrees today, Yorkton up to 24, Estevan up to 24 degrees, and Weyburn up to 25 degrees today. All those areas expecting a whole lot of sunshine as well. Not a lot of cloud cover on our screen. We do see a weather system making its way in overnight, though, and that's only going to be impacting the northern part of the province, and that's going to continue impacting the north until the end of the day tomorrow. Now, in Regina, the 7-day forecast looking absolutely beautiful and above that seasonal average. 23 degrees will be the high today. Tomorrow is going to be the peak for those temperatures this week. 28 degrees expected for Regina, 20 degrees on Thursday. So although we are falling in those temperatures quite a bit on that day, again, still above the average for this time of year, still seeing that sunshine. So it's still going to be a great day. 19 degrees on Friday, getting back up to 25 degrees on Saturday. But that is the day we are going to be seeing a few more of those clouds in the south. 26 on Sunday and 23 on Monday. In Saskatoon, looking equally as beautiful, 25 degrees today. Again, tomorrow is going to be that peak, 26 degrees expected, 20 degrees on Thursday, dropping down ever so slightly to 18 degrees on Friday. And that's the day, one day earlier than Regina, that we're going to start seeing those clouds going up. 24 degrees on Saturday, 23 on Sunday, and 23 on Monday. And with those clouds, we're still expecting to see a whole lot of sunshine.
Good morning. Having my second cup of coffee outside in my backyard. Enjoying the suns. Feeling so good this morning. It's a beautiful morning. I can hear my fish. There's 70 kois in there. I think they're still all sleeping. So good morning to everybody in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Hope your day is as good as mine.
Well, it might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it is a long-time tradition. Carla Shinkarak takes us now to high tea.
Well, that's really nice. It's really good.
Experiencing the often proper high tea tradition is not something usually associated with the Saskatchewan prairies, but you can search out a few places here, and the newest one is along the South Saskatchewan River.
I didn't realize that they did high teas as well, which is, just extra special and, a lot of fun.
This birthday girl, who is celebrating her 30th year, has participated in a high tea ceremony before as a fan of everything tea-related, and she says this event was unexpected.
My sisters surprised me and are treating me to a nice high tea. They know me well. I love collecting teacups. I love tea. It's always such a nice thing to do with friends and family.
High tea is hosted every Sunday here at the shop at River Landing. There are a lot of procedures involved in a traditional high tea, from placement of the napkin to how to break the delicate pastries on the 3-tiered serving platter. But this one here, the Saskatoon version, provides its own flair.
And all of a sudden, we're all on the group chat. What does that mean? What do we even wear? So apparently, you're supposed to do hats and stuff like that, but we just decided to go a little more dressy and just wear your own style.
So while there are a lot of formalities with high tea, here they want you to focus on savoring the moment.
Slow down and connect and relax. We first serve our teas, so we have the time to let them chat first, and then after we take all the towers out.
We have our maple walnut. So awesome to offer something like this to the community, a fun space to feel pretty and kind of disappear into pink.
This may not be in the heart of London where you'd expect to find high tea, but the Saskatoon charm along the riverbank is a hit here. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Tom Holland takes a break from web slinging. A source tells CNN the actor suffered a mild concussion while shooting Spider-Man Brand New Day. Holland was not hospitalized, but he stepped away from production. The star is expected to resume work on his 4th Spider-Man film in a few days.
Can you keep a secret? I'm an angel. See the wings?
Keanu Reeves guides lost souls. This is a look at the upcoming comedy Good Fortune, which sees Reeves meddling with the lives of 2 Earthlings, played by Seth Rogen and Aziz Ansari. Good Fortune comes to theaters on October 17th.
Why do you want to be a Marine, Cameron? For freedom.
Boot Camp gets new recruits. Boots is a new series capturing the intense world of the U.S. Marine Corps. See how the rookies fare when the coming-of-age comedy lands on Netflix on October 9th. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
A man from Brooklyn, New York will always be around for his younger brother, Gabe, and vice versa.
Now, the videos of their incredible bond are picking up millions of views on social media. Here's ABC's Danny New with their story.
Hey, man. What's up?
In the Sapphire household, Nick never knows when his brother Gabe might come and give him a little kiss on the nose.
Do you remember the first time that you gave me a kiss? Oh, you don't have... Oh, do I? Oh, wow.
Over the past 5 years, Gabe, Nick, and the rest of their family have won over the hearts of millions online as they let people in to see the love you can experience when you have a family member with Down syndrome.
Having Gabe in my life is the greatest gift any brother could ever ask for.
Oftentimes, folks will see Gabe and Nick take walks on the beach or near their home in Brooklyn, but perhaps their most popular videos
This is my shirt.
are when they're getting ready to go out and Gabe suddenly demands he and Nick must wear matching outfits.
You were already in gym clothes. What are you doing?
Usually this ends with a kiss and Gabe's signature victory laugh.
That is something that he does also in his everyday life. There it is. There it is.
He's letting you know he won.
That's right. He always wins. You win? Yeah. All right. Well done. You win.
Nick is an actor by trade, and he initially started sharing their family videos during the 2020 lockdown when his show got shut down. 5 years later, now he says he and Gabe are constantly getting recognized on the street, and Gabe loves to give his fans a hug. Or, in my case...
Oh, yeah, I know. Oh, there you go. Go ahead. You want to give Danny a kiss on the nose? Go ahead.
Oh, thank you, Gabe. Thank you. And Nick actually just finished writing a movie screenplay called Gabriel, but it's not a biopic. He wants it to be the first thriller to star an actor with Down syndrome. He says it would not actually star Gabe, but I'm sure he'd make a cameo. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Changes to the game you know and love. The man that made that call yesterday was Stuart Johnston. He's the CFL commissioner, joins us live this morning. Stuart, how have the calls and conversations been on your end this morning?
They've been great. I've been enjoying these conversations and looking forward to this one.
Let's talk about the decision to shorten the field. I think that's the one that's getting the most pushback. Where did that come from?
Well, I think the actual catalyst to these changes, especially in 2027, we're moving the uprights. And that started. This is part of it's all packaged together. They aren't individual modular changes, but moving the uprights has the benefit of opening up that space in the middle for our defenses and our offenses and our defenses. It allows our offenses that are deep in their own zone to actually move freely. It improves the presentation of our game without a big metal obstruction in the way. So we moved the end posts to the back of the end zone. We shortened the end zone to 15 yards to try and keep that field goal kicking game still in play. And then the middle of the field, the 55-yard line, that is part of that package. So that if you think about it, when you started driving your own end in 2027, you will be 5 yards further away from field goal position, but you'll be 10 yards closer to a touchdown. And that's when you net out the difference of moving the post back and taking the 10 yards out of the middle.
You talked about this increasing scoring. Is scoring a problem in your league right now?
I'm not saying it's increasing scoring. What I'm saying it's going to change the dynamic of scoring. We are going to see more touchdowns than field goals than currently. Touchdowns are our most highlight-worthy play. We're going to open up the middle of the field so that all offenses can use the entire end zone. Right now, 80% of all pass attempts into the end zone are to the sides of the end zone, not over the middle. So we'll open that up. We've created an opportunity for more thought process for our coaches on third down gambles because those goalposts are further back and the easy kick isn't there. So these are key moments of entertainment and consequence. And ultimately, I think that's what we were driving towards.
I think the goalpost has received a lot of praise, and the Rouge change as well, from what I've heard. And there's a couple of 3-hour radio talk shows in this city that dedicated the full program to this conversation yesterday. One of the clips that they played on those shows, and then we played on this one, was the reaction from Nathan Rourke, one of the young rising stars of your league. Were you disappointed to see his comments calling them garbage?
Well, I think, first off, Nathan Rourke is more than a young star. He's one of the top superstars of our league. He is an incredible player having a historic season. I think back to when he started in the league. I was so impressed and such a fan. And then when he went to try out his trade in the U.S., I was paying very close attention because I saw the skills he had and I knew he could be a success in any league if he got the opportunity. But I must say, I'm thrilled he's back at the CFL because now we get to see that every week on our fields, and he's having an historic season that I think we should all be very proud of. He's a big voice in our league. I think that that reaction was in the moment, and we are reaching out through the BC Lions to see if I can connect with Nathan and talk him through our changes. I think some of what he said was, he wants to protect the Canadiana and not go towards an Americanized version of the game. And so hopefully I can reassure him that none of these changes were made with any thought process of Americanizing our game. In fact, nothing is the same. The only thing that's the same as a U.S. field are the goalposts being at the back of the end zone. And there are so many good reasons to do that. The rest of it is all different. Everything's different. And we have, and I can reassure him that all the future changes we're thinking about, none of them have to do with the rules. We love what our game is. We are 3 downs. We are 12 players. We are a 65-yard wide field. We are motion. We are yard off ball. That's who we are. And I hope when I have that conversation, I can reassure him if that was the concern. First off, it was never an intention of ours and absolutely isn't an intention going forward.
The commissioner of the league is not an American. Stuart, thank you so much for some time.
All right. Thank you.
Jeremy, go ahead.
All right, a
couple final notes on this show. We're going to talk about those little labubus that you might be getting used to seeing attached to people's purses or belt loops. This one, not one of those, but it's mighty impressive. This is the world's largest labubu. It's set up at the Monsters art installation in Hong Kong's airport. 7 meters tall, and it's celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Monsters series. Labubu's rise may seem sudden, but the character actually, it dates back to 2015. And this collaboration marks the beginning of its world tour, so it's going on the road.
And we're all buying Kayleen a labubu.
You know, I've heard about this nonstop for months, these labubus, but I have yet to actually see one in person.
And I'm in toy aisles all the time, and I never see them.
Yeah.
So they must be in hot demand, or else nobody's stocking them.
They are. Tough to get, apparently.
One or the other.
Yeah. All right, well, here's another one for you. More than 600 intricately carved watermelons are lighting up the night skies in eastern China. The Watermelon Lantern Festival is a decades-old tradition. As the festival opened, people took part in a carving competition. Then at night, they light up the streets. The festival is on until Friday. How beautiful.
Cool. That seems like something we should be doing in like Carenport or Elbow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then just random cut to robot video.
Great. Now we just get a robot in the middle of that. Why would we get that?
Director Corey pressing some buttons up there with my technical glitch gremlin Georgie.
It had to be the robots, right?
If you missed something on the show, you can always find it on our CTV Your Morning website or on YouTube. We'll see you tomorrow.